We're continuing on with the days and the nights. Give us this daily bread, and this Devo today is called Like a Tree. We've been curious about all the mentions of days and nights in the Bible, so curious, and reading that perhaps the emphasis made because of the longevity, the wearing on of life in the light of the day and the darkness, and reminding us that he set up darkness and light and called them both good because he's always with us, his presence, and reminding us that when it was rained 40 days and 40 nights, the longevity of the pain of the flood. All of this is mentioned so often. And last time I ended with telling you a story about Nehemiah where the people were reminded of the days and nights as they traveled in the wilderness, noting the provision and love of God coupled with their arrogance and losing their trust. This cycle that repeated over and over again. And I told you I was going to try what I suggested that might be a good practice. Once a week, note the days and nights that preceded the past 7 days and nights. Write down the fails and the misses along with the provisions and the kisses from God. Take note and give thanks and look at those and observe your daily bread. So I did it. I just did it. I used a blank journal that I had and I wrote down all the thoughts and feelings from the previous week. We'd gotten the new dishwasher. We'd stocked up on groceries for a hard freeze. We were able to go on a nice long walk. We used that dishwasher box to cover those plants. A very cool provision. My daughter-in-law had a birthday. We had enjoyed dinner with friends. Our kids didn't have hot water, and then they did. All of the daily bread that was given to us, I wrote down. But you know what? The first thing that came to my mind when I started writing was all the bad stuff. So I went ahead and wrote down those first. I had a bad cold. You can hear the nasal effect of it still. I had a bad cold. I had a sickness. We had that big storm. We were stuck at home. Work was low that week. One night I talked my husband's ear off about all my frustration, weariness, tiredness, and fears. So you can see that in that 1 week that I reflected upon, my first remembrance was the sickness and the storm and my total loss of perspective. So I'll call those my nights of the week. The times when it felt dark, when I coughed instead of sleeping, and the night I actually didn't sleep at all. Nights drag on. But when I wrote all of that down, then the thought of the list of provisions started surfacing. Somehow, writing down all the bad stuff emptied it out of my mind and the light of day emerged. It was like a 10-to-1 ratio of blessings to the hardships. Of course, there are some weeks where we might say we have a 10-to-1 ratio of hardships to blessings. But here's the beauty of days and nights and the cycle. They reappear. God did this practice from day one. He worked all day, he created, then he observed and he noted the good and called it good, and then he said the evening and the morning were the end of the day. Psalm 1 is a familiar passage. It says this, "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, who meditates on his law day and night." That person is like a tree planted by a stream of water that yields fruit in its season, and whose leaf does not wither, and whatever they do prospers. There's really something life-giving about meditating, taking note of the goodness of God in the days and the nights of the past week, over and over again, that enables us to dig deep roots, yield fruit, and never wither, but instead prosper. I felt pretty prosperous after I paused and wrote down my days and nights and observed all the good and how he was with me in the bad, how he healed me, provided for me, and never left me. It strengthened me. That day and night thing, it's important if we want to be like a tree that drinks deep and considers itself blessed.